In Manuel Pratique bass clef example number 3, we're going to start expanding our repertoire of notes that we're comfortable with in the bass clef. And we're going to go through a pretty similar process to the process that we went through in our treble clef example as we expanded out from our anchor notes. So in bass clef, in the examples number 1 and 2, we've done a pretty good job of establishing our two anchor notes, our fas and our dos. We've gotten to know the fourth line fa, and we've gotten to know the fa that is directly below the staff, in that space below the staff. And we've gotten to know two dos, the do that is in the second space and the do that is in the ledger line above the staff. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get to know the notes that are directly above the fas and directly below the fas, and the notes that are directly above the dos and the notes that are directly below the dos. So let's take a look at each one in turn. And again, remember, in Manuel Pratique, we never write the syllables into our music because we're trying to learn this. We're trying to teach ourselves to remember this. But I will do that just to sort of illustrate what we're doing here for the moment. So we have our fa, our fourth line fa. So the note that's right above fa is sol. We have also over here, so we have fa, sol, fa in this trio of notes. Right here we have another fa, and we have the note that is right below fa in the third space, which is mi. So we have this trio of notes, fa, mi, fa. And we're going to do a similar thing to the fa that's on the space below the treble clef. So right here we have the fa below the bass clef. Right above the fa we have sol, which means this trio of notes is fa, sol, fa. And then we have the fa on the bottom here, and then we're going to go to the mi that's right below that. So we have this trio, fa, mi, fa. And so there we have it. All the fas with the note above, which is sol, and the note below, which is mi. Now we're going to do the same thing with the do. So let's start with the second space do, the first do that we find here. So here's our do. The note that's right above do is re on that third line. So we have do, re, do. Right below the do is the note that's on the second line, which is si. So we have do, si, do. We can do the same thing with the do that is on the ledger line above the bass clef. So we know that this is the do right here. Right below the do is going to be si. So we have in this trio of notes, do, si, do, and then we have another do here, plus the note that is right above, which is re, do, re. Do, re, do. And again, remember, even though some of these are written with the open note heads and the closed note heads that we usually associate with quarter notes and half notes, we're going to be performing all of these at exactly the same tempo, or exactly the same note value, which is 1 beat per note. Those open note heads here are just there to remind us that those are anchor notes, that those are fas and dos, just so visually we see that. But when we actually perform this, we're going to be performing it at a steady tempo. Fa, sol, fa, do, re, do, fa, mi, fa, do, si, do, and so forth.